Building contractors, I'm going to share my experience on running progress meetings to help deliver projects on time every time. The purpose of this video is to talk about a progress meeting that I attended yesterday with a main contractor. I was invited to this meeting by a subcontractor who I'm doing some work for, who's looking for me to help him put systems and structures in place so he can manage his business and scale his business going forward. Part of the process that I have for supporting subcontractors is to do a discovery phase, which involves me looking at their business from all of their angles. And one of those things brought me to the progress meeting of a main contractor yesterday, which this subcontractor is working for on a fairly significant project in Dublin. Something struck me in the meeting, having come from a tier one main contracting background, was the manner in which the progress meeting, the weekly progress meeting for that subcontractor or that main contractor was actually being run, which inspired me to put this video together to hopefully add some value, if I can, to main contractors to help them get the best value from their progress meetings. So this is a little bit of my experience prompted by the meeting I had yesterday to help to support main contractors to get the best value from a weekly progress meeting. First of all, there are people who would say that progress meetings are a waste of time. If they're managed incorrectly, I would 100% agree with that. But they shouldn't be managed incorrectly, and they're not a waste of time. A very important project lifeblood tool to manage the progress and deliver a project is the weekly progress meeting. Now, on this particular project, it was a large project that was broken up into 5, I think, sections. And there were 5 section managers involved who were reporting to a project manager. But the meeting didn't start on time. It started 20 minutes after the hour of 2 o'clock. It was set for 2 o'clock. There was an agenda on the table, which I picked up a copy of, which was the previous minutes of the last meeting, plus the attendees at the last meeting. And there was a long list of names of people who were supposed to attend the meeting. There was almost 30 people on the list. I looked around the room 20 minutes on. The project manager, the guy going to chair the meeting, wasn't even in the room. I also noted that there was about 7 people in the room, definitely not 30. Just on that point there should never be a progress meeting with 30 people in it. That literally is counterproductive. It doesn't achieve anything. It just annoys people, and most of the people are not involved in the meeting until 10, 15 minutes of that time. Also, it prolongs the meeting. It means the meeting ends up being much longer than it needs to be. A progress meeting shouldn't be any longer than an hour. If you can do it in 45 minutes, you've achieved the goal. Now you've got to do it justice. A progress meeting is not a reporting meeting. A progress meeting is a management meeting. Reporting should be done separate from the project meeting. That's not to say that the 5 site managers or stakeholders or project managers or whatever their title was shouldn't report in the meeting, but it's not about reporting. Everyone in the meeting should be going there to confirm that they are going to achieve the goals and the targets that have been set between the section manager, the project manager, and the stakeholder subcontractors. That's the purpose of the meeting. The purpose of the meeting is also to record the fact that we've achieved our goals, not achieved our goals, but we have a recovery program in place. And these are the details of that recovery program. A progress meeting revolves around, once the health and safety, very important part of the meeting, is covered, which should be the first thing everyone talks about, going through the safety protocols of the meeting and understanding what is important from that perspective. Once that's done, the agenda for a progress meeting is the baseline program. It isn't anything else, it's the baseline program. Everything you do on a project revolves around progress versus progress, planned versus actual. So your site managers come to the meeting prepared with a 2 to 4 week look ahead program. That 2 to 4 week look ahead program was prepared prior to the meeting with stakeholders' involvement. It's no good a site manager coming to the meeting with his own program saying, this is what you must do. Now, it's very important that he knows what needs to be done, but he has to have had stakeholder meetings, conversations, chats on the phone, whatever it is, to make sure that the 2 to 4 week look ahead program that he or she presents in that meeting is something that has been agreed and been collaborated with the stakeholders. And that if the targets were not achieved in the last 2 weeks, then a recovery program is in place, and this is how we're going to achieve that goal. Constraints, challenges, difficulties, stuff that's the likelihood to prevent the program, critically important that they're covered in the meeting. Minuted, noted, and a plan of action is put in place to execute those constraints and make sure going forward that they don't become a problem to the overall program. A forecast to the further parts of the program to make sure that the cause and effect of any delays in the last week or two are discussed, covered, and that all stakeholders have a plan to recover if the program is behind, which invariably happens, unfortunately, on projects. Now, the chap tried his best to chair the meeting. Chairing a meeting is not something you can just do because you're the guy in that seat. Chairing a meeting requires experience, it requires training, it requires understanding of what's going on, not just sitting there. And no disrespect to this guy, he wasn't senior enough to be chairing this meeting. Somebody more senior should have been at the meeting from the company, from the main contractors company. A contracts manager, a senior project manager, a project director, somebody who understands how to manage a meeting, but more importantly, or equally importantly, that the stakeholders have respect for. That they know that this guy is important and that this guy, if you make a promise to him, you must deliver on that promise. Also, in the meeting, your stakeholders, your subcontractors, should have senior personnel in their business at the meeting, not just the site manager, the guy on the site. Very often, the guy on the site doesn't have all the resources he needs to do the job, but he won't tell you that in a meeting. So you need to be able to talk to the owner, the contracts manager, if it's a big business, to make sure that the resources necessary to deliver on the project are in the room and there's a commitment from the subcontractor. So senior people, preferably owners of the subcontractor business, should be in attendance at the meeting. And that's why it's so important to make sure we respect the time of everybody who attends. The meeting should start on time. The meeting should not be any more than an hour. The meeting should be following a very specific agenda. The meeting should be discussing the 2 to 4 week look ahead programs. The meeting should be discussing any constraints, challenges, or issues likely to affect the program going forward. The also very important is that once the meeting is done, finished, that the minutes are prepared within 24 hours, not 48 hours, not the day before the meeting. Within 24 hours of the meeting minutes should be issued. For whatever reason, people don't do anything until they get the minutes. They leave the meeting and they just saunter off into the world. Then they get the minutes and they go, oh my gosh, we got a progress meeting tomorrow. I've got to, well, look, is there anything there for us? Get the minutes of the meeting out within 24 hours of the meeting. If you can do it the same day, because the deliverables on there will only start to happen most of the time when the minutes land. And if they're sitting on the table when people come to the next meeting and that's the first time they're seeing them, you're not helping yourself managing a project. Chairing a meeting, the importance of chairing a meeting and how to chair a meeting. Reading an agenda. This guy was literally looking down at the table, reading the agenda, item by item. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, bye. You got nothing from that meeting. I'm sitting there cringing in the background, not because he was doing a bad job, but because he didn't know how to do the job he was being asked to do. Very important in a meeting is what people don't say, what people have not attended, what's going on in the corner, the body language, the guy who's quiet, the guy who says something but means something else. The experienced chairman of a meeting like that can pick up on those telltale signs. Those things are experience. You know, you get a vibe, you get a feel from knowing the characters, knowing the people, knowing how they said what they said and what that really meant. Probably wasn't the words they actually said. So the key to having an effective weekly progress meeting is it being chaired properly by somebody experienced who holds respect from the people in the room and who respects the people in the room. I don't want this video to go on forever, but I think those things were things that resonated with me yesterday when I watched this guy trying his best to chair a meeting that somebody else should have been chairing. And I think it's really important that progress meetings are not dissipated into nothing, that they become meaningless and pointless. That's how projects fail, not because of the progress meeting, but because of how it's managed, how it's controlled. A progress meeting is a management tool. It is not a reporting tool. Reporting is part of it, but the goal is to come out with a plan for the next 2 to 4 weeks that will hit the goals that we need to achieve as a main contractor so that the end goal of completing the project on time and on budget is achievable. So if you got any value from the chat we're having here today and you like this kind of content, let me know, because I'm happy to continue putting together content that I think will add value, and hopefully going forward we get projects finished on time every time.